King of the Cage is coming back to Michigan, back to Detroit. I'm extremely happy about this. The last event we had guys on the card like Tony Lopez with a big victory, second round knockout. Drew Murray with a big victory over Ruben, really close. Now we've got another card coming up. I'm excited to say King of the Cage, Second Coming. Chelsea Faulder is going to be fighting on this card in the main, on the main card, and we've got the women bringing it up again as always. It's such a huge thing to have the women's MMA on the main event because that's who's delivering as of late. And we've got Chelsea on the show. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for coming on. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Dan.
Listen, I'm excited for you. This has got to be, a big, big event for you. King of the Cage. You've got a tough opponent. Seems to do a lot of talking. You seem to want to do yours in the cage. So it's an interesting matchup.
It is. It's definitely two different styles. Cause like I had said previously, I'm a very respectful person. I don't talk a lot of shit, but that seems to be her MO. So we'll see how that works out for her when she has to be locked in the cage with me.
And that's right, because at the end of the day, it all goes down inside the cage. You can say what you want, and it does sell fights. Listen, people are paying attention, and they're going to be interested in seeing what you've got to say. Now, I'm curious, Chelsea, what was it that got you, such a beautiful young lady, into mixed martial arts and going and punching other people in the face?
A lot of it had to do with my upbringing. Just growing up, I had two older sisters. I fought a lot with them. They were always pretty mean to me. And then I had an uncle that did karate. I was very interested in martial arts, period. I didn't really care what it was. I begged my parents to put me in something, and they just thought it would make me too aggressive and I wouldn't be able to control myself. So then in high school, I started doing like cross country and track, and those were a good sport for me to be able to physically. It was like a physical pain for me, makes me feel better.
You push it to the limit. You were growing up, you were a tomboy. You have to admit that.
Yes.
And you competed with everybody that was willing to compete with you. And
absolutely.
That's who you are, and you're an overachiever. You push yourself to the limits, and that's what's got you to this point. And it's got to be exciting because women's MMA is blowing up. Now, you actually have a unique case in that your husband is also your coach, or your future husband is your coach. And so he knows you better than anyone. He knows when to push and when to back off. How does that been for you? It seems like that would be a big positive.
Yes, it's a huge positive for me. I didn't always have that. I was married before, and my ex-husband didn't support me at all. So once I got away from him and started a new relationship, it's just been absolutely incredible having someone that is supportive, wants me to go to practice, doesn't have insecurities about anything, it's just absolutely amazing to have someone be able to help me grow.
Right.
It's great.
Well, that's the key to success, is that support and, having someone there for you, because, a lot of the fans don't understand what you actually go through to compete at this level. There's not a lot of money being given to the ladies or the guys at this level, and you are competing this close to, let's say, UFC Ultimate Fighter show, getting into these big events. I mean, to me, I see you in Invicta. I don't know why you're not there right now. So this fight coming up, now you've done, obviously, having your husband as a coach is a huge benefit, but your training camp, you've had some really good partners you've trained with as well.
Yes, so with my training partners, I have a lot, my basic Fighttopians, those are my teammates, that's my family, love them to death. But then I have other training partners that come in from out of town. Jan Finney's one of them. That's just been a huge, huge blessing for me. Just when I went through my injury and just being able to like be around her, you know, she's inspiring to me. So she's been awesome as a training partner. I actually trained with her today and got a little black eye. My face is all scuffed up. I tried to cover it up with makeup. So
you look beautiful. The smile, listen, Chelsea, the smile is infectious. It's genuine. And I love that about you because you're doing what you love. This is exciting to you. You're ready to go to the next level. And you've got great training partners. How is the camp went? I mean, you've been preparing for a little while. Is it a full camp for you? How's everything going?
It's actually really great. I thought I was going to be fighting this coming weekend. My teammate, Anthony Paulino, who was actually at the Olympic trials for boxing last year,
wow.
He's making his amateur MMA debut this weekend. So I'll be over in Columbus to corner him. And I thought I was going to be fighting on the same card, but they couldn't get anyone to come here to fight me here in Ohio. So, yeah, I have already been through a full training camp. So, and I had a vacation planned for Florida next week. And once I got the information about this fight, I was like, oh no, should I cancel my vacation? Should I go? And they're like, no, you need to go. You need to get away, you know. You've trained hard already. You're totally fine. I just didn't go through a weight cut. That was all that, you know. Other than that, my training was absolutely perfect. No injuries, you know. I have just the best training partners I've ever had surrounding me. So everyone's very mindful of making sure they're not hurting anyone, you know, not just me, but anyone in the gym. You know, it's just absolutely awesome. So I'm going to go on vacation this next week for a whole week and enjoy myself, enjoy the sun and the beach. So, and then once I get back, it'll be definitely, I mean, not that I've not already been grinding, but it's definitely going to be way more picked up.
And listen, that's a great thing because how often do you get to go vacation before, right? And you know, and you're ready. So, I mean, to be prepared at all times, that's the key in this sport. Because you could get a phone call, and if you're not ready to take advantage of that opportunity, it could be a big, big mess. So it speaks a lot to your character. And I can say, as a person, you couldn't be more respectful and very, very nice. I look forward to your fight. Now, you're fighting against, and with all due respect, I never can pronounce the names properly without speaking to the person, but Kenya Sisan, I believe, something similar. This is a tough woman. She's coming in to fight, and she does do a lot of talking. And if you look at her past fights, I mean, she comes in to fight. So how do you feel about that? I know you do your talking in the cage, but is this really out of the, you know, something different than what you're used to?
Yeah, I've never went with any, like my previous opponents have never, like, I was never Facebook friends with them. She added me on Facebook, so I don't know, that's kind of odd to me, but previously I've never had my other opponents take and try and attack me or say anything to me on social media, so that's different, but I mean, other than that, it's a fight, and it is what it is.
Well, that's the thing. Social media has changed so many things. The ability for the fighter to reach the fans, but also the ability for the opponent to reach the other opponent, right? So, and I just came back from an FSF card where actually that was a big deal, and the Facebook thing did create a lot of drama and a lot of real anger and anxiety with the fight, and they delivered. So, I mean, I look forward to this fight, Chelsea. Now, I never asked someone what are they going to do in the future because you've got this fight to deal with now, and it's about winning. You are a competitor. You're not going to lose or give anything up. They're going to have to pry it out of your dead hands.
Yes.
But let me ask you this. Do you have a certain routine that you go through before the fight? or anything like that, because I just started talking to a few guys and they actually have little things that they do before a fight that it's superstitious to me. It's like, listen, you know, don't work on just 1-2, 1-2 in the locker room and expect to throw anything different than a 1-2, 1-2. throw 3 and 4s, you're going to land and throw 3 and 4s. Is there anything that you do?
So usually once I get to wherever I'm fighting, I'll take a nap, like either before or after the fighters meeting. If I'm like later on the card, I'll do it after the fighters meeting. So I take my nap, I get up. My cornerman, Bob Moore, he's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. So he does, like, runs me through a good stretch. I get warmed up, and then as I'm walking out, my daughter, depending on the venue, sometimes they'll let her come back with me in the locker room, and then other times she can't come back in the locker room. Yep. I've done it both ways. But every venue that I've fought at, they have let her walk the catwalk with me. Yep. And be able to walk into the cage, everything. So it's been super awesome, and I've already talked with King of the Cage, and they're going to allow that. So I'm super, super thankful that they're allowing that. Wow. But yeah, my daughter walks out with me, and I give her a kiss right before I get in the cage, and as soon as I get that hug and kiss from her, you know, I just feel untouchable. You know, nothing's going to stop me, and that I'm Superwoman then, you know, so.
Because you know, you've done the work. You've put in all the time, you're in shape, and now it's just about expressing yourself in this form of martial art. And it is art, make no mistake about it. There's violence to this, but it is art, and it is dedication. And as a fan, I'm humbled to have you on, Chelsea. And, you know, listen, I wish you nothing but the best. And I'm interested in hearing about your husband and the gym and everything else, so we're going to have to set something up for the future after this fight.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Fantastic. Listen, guys, King of the Cage, do not miss it at the Yak Arena. I mean, you can't get much closer for a Detroit fan of MMA. This is it. We got some great fights on the card. So listen, for Chelsea Faulder, for Fight TV, for Modern Pugilist Entertainment, I'm Dan Cox. Thank you for joining me. We will see you next time.